Hello?
I don't want to talk.
But dang, how you doing today?
Good, I don't want to talk.
Why you always tell me that?
Because I don't like talking to you. I don't like talking to you.
But you won't even let me ask the question before you try to answer
You
it.
just said, how are you? You just said, how are you?
Oh my goodness, Demi, why you so rude to your daddy?
I don't like talking to you.
But that doesn't give you a reason to be rude. You gotta honor your mother and your father, sweetheart.
Okay, I don't want to talk.
I get that much, but you don't have to be rude about it.
I said I don't want to
I
talk.
know that. I heard you the first 4 times, but you still need to stop being rude. That's the whole thing about it.
I'm telling you something and you're not listening.
Because I'm the parent, you can't tell me nothing. That's the thing.
I can express my feelings.
You definitely can, but you can do that without being rude as well. That's the whole thing. That's the key.
Okay.
You don't be rude and you don't be disrespectful. Okay, but you don't have to talk over me either. But you don't have to talk over me. So if you don't want to talk and you're going to talk over me, you could just be quiet and let me say what I got to say. You get that from your mama. But I love you and I miss you anyway.
Bye-bye.
This right here, it's a prime.
All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto you. How about Shema, Shabbat, Shema, Kakodash. The abundance of the apostle of the great millstone. Shalom to all the Akamada, pushing the word of sincerity and truth. Yeah, I just wanted to, shed a few words on that video that I just had queued up, with that little fucking demon child, coming against her father that simply just wanted to, have a, just a dialogue, just to talk, and you see her reaction, being very vicious, just basically, just being a nigga woman, for lack of a better term, and where does she get that spirit from? Obviously her mother, and that's the thing with us as so-called, black men, Latino men, and Native American men, preferably the so-called black men. We, when I say black, of course, Levites, Benjamites, Judites, Haitians, Jamaicans, and as well as the Negroes, they put the image out there on mainstream media that all black men are just basically pieces of shit, deadbeats, don't have a child bond because they're going to obviously run out on their child. They're not responsible enough to actually take care of a child. They neglect their duties and their obligations as a father figure, et cetera, et cetera. So they demonize us, but when you actually see, quote unquote, good, black men, so-called good black men that's actually want to step up to the plate, and live against the stereotype that's being put out there, you see the reaction of it. It's no winning, man. And like I said, it comes from a lot of these demonic ass nigga women, that plant that negative evil spirit on their children to just have a vicious hatred towards the father. And I've seen that. I'm pretty sure plenty of brothers can speak on, in numerous situations of these situations occurring, because a mother usually gets it from her, grandmother, sometimes, grandmothers try to, give them certain ins and outs. But nowadays, man, as these generations, proceed, they get more and more degenerate, so the grandmother might tell certain things about, plant certain negative spirits on the child, the daughter, and then, the daughter grows up to be a mother with already a chip on her shoulder about so-called black men, and then she'll have the nerve to lay down with one, and then he's not doing everything in her favor, so she'll weaponize, and that's what they do. They'll weaponize the children, use their children as an object of manipulation, against the father. They don't put the child on the sidelines and let the child actually, learn to love. Like he said, at the end of the day, you have to honor your father and mother. That's scripture, man. And our fathers and our mothers aren't the best parents, so to speak. They don't have every, we didn't grow up with a silver spoon, but at the end of the day, honor has to be there. I never disrespected my mother on the phone, told her I didn't want to talk to her, as well as my father. When a father or elder, somebody that's older than you, especially a guardian, wants to talk, you should shut the fuck up and listen. That's what that little girl should have did. But these girls like that, she's gonna grow up to just be an animal, man. It's already showing. You know, she doesn't want any type of man figure to give her some type of discipline. She don't even want to listen. So how much more when she actually has a actual real man in her life, you know, which she's more than likely not going to get because she seems like the type to just get a simple Negro to run over, you know, or she might get a white man just to, you know, have revenge sex against her own people, you know, but yeah, like I said, it's just a vicious cycle. And that's why the scriptures speak about this, not our rest. Every angle and everywhere you turn, even when you try to live a life of positivity, negativity still just, you know, slaps you in the face. So the second Ezra 5:8, it says, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Yeah, that's the truth. A lot of these children are monsters, man. You know, you see how disrespectful she is, and it's been a lot of you know, I watch crime on the internet and things of that nature just to see what's going on in these different states and cities. And there's a lot of children that's actually killing their parents, man. You know, certain parents are telling children to you know, put the Fortnite down, put the video games down and study. You know, these children already have a drop of what's in the household, and they'll pick up a gun and fire off on their actual parents, sometimes maiming them or killing them, knocking out. I've seen situations where men will knock out their own fathers, man. You know, talking shit against their, you know, fathers as well as their mothers. Certain, you know, mothers even getting jacked up by their own children, daughters beating them up. You know, these, like I said, these little kids, and that's why they call them, it's the last generation, man, Generation Z. You know, it's just going to get more and more downhill from here. You know, and I want to get this other scripture, get to the point of it. Yeah, this is Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. Right, so children have the tendency to oppress, because even as in this oppressed, depressed world, what a man produces, he naturally loves. So when you have a child, you know, you tend to give love. That's some of the most genuine love that you could actually give is to your own, you know, daughters and sons. You know, some of the most, like I said, you know, raw love, where it's not any type of you don't give your children things in the spirit of wanting get back in the future. You do it because that's your seed. You produce that. That's something that you actually, you know, created. You know, so you have, you know, a strong affection and affinity for your children, and you do anything for them to actually grow up the right way. But these children, you know, like I said, they'll be tied up in the middle, and they'll get caught up in the crossfires, and a lot of these children develop negative habits, and they'll develop negative characteristics, so to speak, and then they'll start to oppress their own fathers and mothers, man. It's a lot of children that'll do just wicked ass shit, and then they'll call cops on their actual parents, man. You know, if their parents try to discipline them, you know, parents try to, you know, give them some type of order to actually, you know, get in order, like I said, get in line. Their initial attitude is to, you know, basically rebel. And that's why, matter of fact, I'm gonna get this because it's gonna be a major die-off of children also, man. A lot of these children are just fucking rebellious as all hell. You know, they don't want to listen, they don't want to take orders. And the brother had brought out a good point, how, you know, majority of 2/3 is you know, women and children also. Now, majority of the 1/3 is going to be women and children, and majority of the 2/3 is going to be women and children. You know, you do have certain children that listen, and they stick to their obligations, you know, to the best of their ability. You know, stay with under that you know, the rule of their parents. But you got these little runts, man, and that's from the, you know, daughters and the son. Little niggas picking up guns and drugs at the tender age of 8, man. It seems like a joke, but these kids jumping off. Jake said that jumping off the porch early, 12 years old, 13 years old. They smoking weed, you know, knowing how to roll blunts, knowing everything that comes with the streets, you know. and you know, executing shit. You know, beating up people, bullying. That's why there's so much bullying in school. A lot of these kids got demons on them, man. Now, of course, you know, as growing up, you would persevere. You know, you would have certain people that's trying to size you up, and you would persevere and things of that nature. You know, and you would, you know, show your you know, you demand your respect. You know, nowadays, you know, of course, it's such a feminine world. A lot of these kids just be on the internet and they, you know, be scared to get into confrontations. But you'll have these kids that'll just go around being fucking little villains, man. You know, nuisances, man. You know, just being in the school, slapping up kids and taking their lunch money. You know, just being niggas. And then some of their parents know the bullshit that they be doing, but they just condone their actions. And like I said, that's why it has to be a major dialogue, man. And the scripture I was thinking of when I was getting to Sirach, I couldn't find it at the initial point, but it speaks about how a father establishes the children, but the curse of the mother, I could have typed that in, the curse of the mother uprooted them. You know, so everything that a man tries to lay down in the household, you'll see it get stripped up by the woman. And like I said, you'll see the child in the crosshairs. And we have a, you know, exhibit A, whether it's a son or a daughter, they just don't have zero, not even an inkling of respect for a father. You know, and it backfires in their daily life, and you see they don't respect any type of man. They don't respect their husbands, and then eventually they'll have children, you know, and they'll look at their children as the image of the husband that they hated, and they'll treat him like shit. And that all goes back to the Willie Lynch letter, man. That's straight out the book. Willie Lynch wrote the letter, and he was speaking about how to oppress a nation. And one of the main things was, you know, putting the woman against the man. And if you put the woman against the man, she's going to naturally have the children and put the children against you. All right, this is Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Right, and the Lord didn't even say, you know, try to reform these children in program. The Lord said, kill them off, man. It's a lot of children, and the brother brought out that point too. When they hit, you know, 7, 8, their minds are pretty much sealed, man. Conscious seared with a high iron. They stuck in their ways. You know, that's why certain kids you'll try to impact, and you'll see certain people that'll go through things, and they'll go to these schools and try to talk to these children, you know, to keep them away from the, you know, the viciousness of the streets. And these children, they don't give a damn. They be scoffing. You know, what the fuck this old nigga talking about? You know, we out here. We out here thugging. You know, like I said, that's the reason, man. But I just wanted to make this short and sweet. Just wanted to give a few words on that video. You know, hopefully, brother, if I don't end by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto you. How about Shema or Shabbat, Shema Kakodash, double honor to the apostle of the great millstone. Shalom, Akim.